right, MMA Maniacs, it's time once again for Split Decision, your weekly MMA podcast brought to you from the Ruloff Family Inc. studios. Woo! Bueller and Dobbs here to break you off some mixed martial arts news and, of course, betting advice. It's never good.
No. Horrible.
Although, if you would have bet on Tim Elliott to win the Ultimate Fighter, you would have been right.
You would have been right.
Yeah, I think I went 4-6 last week.
Yeah, don't ever listen to us when it comes to picking plays. Big thanks to our sponsors. You can see them right here. And we'll go ahead and we're going to jump into it, right? That's how we're doing it now.
I think that's how it works.
We're going in head first.
We just jump all up in it.
Our first story from MyMMANews.com.
You want to go with the big news?
The big news this week, there was the big announcement.
Yeah. The forming of the MMAAA.
Not to be confused with the MMAFA.
Or the PFA.
Right.
This is the MMAAA. Which is
M to the second, A to the third.
Yes.
This is double, triple? Double M, double, triple.
Double?
Oh. Or a full count.
M squared, A cubed.
Is it cubed if it's 3? I thought it'd be 4.
Oh, shit. Here we go. Doing geography.
What's 4?
3 dimensions.
It's a tetra.
Yeah, that's 4.
Like the game?
If you're talking to your mic, we'll probably hear you.
Yeah, but then I'm like,
so if I'm
not really a part of the show, though.
So if I had,
but you are.
If I had a letter
M
but you
and
a 4 up next to it, that'd be M tetra?
It would. Well, I don't actually know what it is.
Quad.
M quad?
Sure.
But cube is 3.
Yes.
All right.
Which makes no
That's
sense.
why cubic inches, 3 dimensions.
Okay.
This math banter brought to you by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan can choke me.
Aren't there 6 sides to a cube?
Oh, yeah.
3 dimensions.
But how many sides?
6.
How many dimensions are there?
Well, on certain theories of string theory, it's about 11 to 12. It depends.
Anyway, we have
the Mixed Martial Arts Athlete Association.
Which makes about as much sense as the last 2 minutes of conversation.
Yeah. Which, by the way, they're not seeking to unionize fighters. Okay? They're just here
to associate them.
With string theory.
Only in the UFC, though. Only in the UFC. They want to negotiate with the owners to increase the gross revenue from reported 8% to the fighters to 50%. That's a 600% increase.
If it's only the UFC, then why is GSP involved? Didn't he just sign with Bellator?
He's like an ambassador.
He's not signed with Bellator.
He's an ambassador.
That's just a rumor?
That's just a rumor.
Last I heard, he was still trying to work things out with
the UFC.
Yeah.
I thought I seen the contract.
Do you have it?
Was it written?
You got a picture of it?
It was on a napkin.
I want to see it.
Was it written in
Did
crayon?
you write it for him?
I might have.
It's official. I have the contract right here.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is what Dodge brought up before we started recording is that these unions, or not unions, but these fighter organizations seem to only go after the UFC.
Yeah.
They don't go after Bellator. They don't go after anybody else.
What's crazy about this one is you had 5 fighters step forward. 5 big fighters. You had George St. Pierre, Cain Velasquez, Tim Kennedy, T.J. Dillashaw, Donald Cerrone, and for some reason,
so they're not all big. Some are kind of short. Like
true. For some reason, also heading this is former Bellator founder Bjorn Rebney.
It's like he's been trying to figure out a way to come back, dude.
And this is it. And he said he's had this idea for 2 years.
Dude.
So it must have been like, shit, I'm getting ousted in my own company. Fuck this, I'm starting an organization.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, and he called everybody. He goes, I'm getting the band back together.
Yeah.
He must have. But he couldn't get any of his former Bellator fighters to follow him. What does that say?
Well, they were happy for like fighting for croutons and shit.
Oh,
man.
yeah. And that's what's super funny is
Oyster crackers that nobody ever uses.
Right.
King Mo was like, they had showed a picture and they're like, hey, there's 5 great fighters and some dick. They're like, they're going to find out.
Not our words.
They're going to find out
Not
real quick that he is just as bad, or if not worse. Like, if anybody knows about screwing over fighters, it's Bjorn.
But that's why Tim Kennedy said they got him, because he knows that side of the business.
He knows that side of the business. But I mean, for that insight.
But as anybody's going to know, with an association, it's not a one person that's going to screw you or fuck you over. It's going to be the words that you choose in the contract that your association goes by.
So also in this, George St. Pierre's lawyers also signed on.
Right.
Because they need to be involved.
Right. And again, it's not going to be... although you'll have somebody who heads this group of the association, you will be bound by whatever contract that the association works by,
right?
And mostly the language thereof.
So what's even crazier is, or not crazier, but like on the sort of a conspiracy theory thing is that CAA, which is Creative Artists Agency, represents 4 of these 5 fighters. CAA's major rival is WME IMG. who owns the UFC.
So that's not conflicting at all.
So what they're saying is that Bjorn possibly got support of the CAA, and even though he says they're not a financial backer, they just support us.
Right. Sure.
And now again, they're going after.
And you said they're
UFC.
what they're trying to do is make the fighters employees of the UFC, not independent contractors.
Nope,
right?
that's the MMAAA.
Oh, well, shit, man.
So 3 organizations. MMAAA wants to extend the Muhammad Ali Act, which makes independent contractors of fighters are basically independent contractors still, but promoters have to bid against each other for rights to put on title fights, which is ridiculous. Like, I understand somewhat in boxing at the time when they were doing it, but now that's why we have 30 different boxing titles for the same weight class.
Right.
And then you have the PFA, which actually wants to unionize only the UFC, which now they're the ones that have to classify them as employees. And then you have the MMAAA, who basically is making a players' association to demand a 600% salary increase.
Mixed Martial Arts Addicts Anonymous.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that better.
So it's pretty crazy what's going on here. They step forward. They're saying, it's a necessary evil to have Bjorn Rebney on there. They're saying that
Nothing is going to happen.
You don't think so?
No, nothing's going to happen. Nothing happened with the PFA. Nothing happened with the MMAFA.
Donald Cerrone said,
FA.
I used to be afraid to speak up, but now I think now's the time to stand up.
Well, all right.
Cain Velasquez is complaining there's no health plan after he retires. TJ Dillashaw saying, it's really sad seeing these old fighters that don't have anything after the UFC, and we're going to start bringing the ghosts of Christmas past out of
Really?
the skeletons out of UFC's closet, the guys that they've pushed aside and left behind and left to rot.
I don't know. I don't have a health plan for after I retire either.
They're going to start bringing them forward. So I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting.
We're having problems.
We're having problems.
Just keep going with the show.
Yeah, we do what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on over
We're doing
to
it live.
Yeah.
Moving it on over to some more UFC news. We have the other big news. Conor McGregor has been stripped of his featherweight belt.
Yeah.
The part that makes no damn sense to me is is that Jose Aldo is being promoted to the champion, featherweight
Because he's
champion,
the current interim.
Because he's current interim. So none of that's not the crazy part to me.
No.
The crazy part is you have Anthony Pettis against Max Holloway for an interim belt.
When you have a current active champion.
Instead of a number one contendership bout, you're having it as an interim belt.
Because they need a title shot.
Like this is, I think we talked about this last week, but this is 100% confirmed now.
We talked about it. We tried to go live with it on Facebook over the weekend, but that didn't work. But they needed a title fight for the UFC.
206.
Was it 206?
Yeah, it's coming up.
So next weekend's UFC, they had to have a title fight. So that's why we're just going to create this interim belt for no reason.
It's just
and their reasoning
weird.
behind it is because, Jose Aldo is kind of on a hiatus right now. While he's still contracted by the UFC, he's already said he wants to get out.
Yeah, but he said he would fight anybody now that he's the official belt holder. Like, I'm down. I want to fight the number one contender. It's not going to be Conor. That sucks, but that's his fault for giving up the belt.
Crazy. And then the UFC said that they didn't strip him. Conor gave it up.
Yeah, that's Dana White's stance.
Dana White's stance? I don't know.
It's confusing.
I don't understand any of it.
In the meantime, while Conor McGregor is holding on to his now lightweight belt while his kid is being born, number one contender Khabib Nurmagomedov is sitting there waiting, and he says, if I'm not going to get the real belt, fine, I want to fight Tony Ferguson for the interim belt. I think that's more than fair. Sitting on the sidelines, he can call me a pullout artist all he wants. It's not my fault. I do get injured. He's been injured before, and he's pulled out of fights.
Right.
Let's make this what's right. Let's get an actual title contender fight on here.
I'm surprised that
I'm down, and we also talked about that would possibly be a possibility. It sucks to make these guys sit out and wait, but make it an interim belt.
they can't. But
You can, instead of a number one contender, make it an interim.
You make it an interim belt, but we're only looking at May.
Yeah.
Well, the baby's born in May. He's not necessarily saying he's coming back in May.
Right.
So he could say, okay, now that the baby's born, I'm ready to start training to come back. So it could be June or July before he actually comes back.
Yeah.
Which is still not a full year, so does that really warrant an interim belt?
I don't know, man. I want to see the belt move instead of just sitting with a guy who's like, yeah, I'm taking a break.
Yeah. I just think I'm surprised that Khabib is willing to take a fight that's not for the belt at this point in time.
I think he wants it, again, he wants it for the interim. So
For the
he's
interim, but
technically
that's-
getting a belt.
It's a paper belt.
Yeah. Something Conor McGregor is not doing while sitting on the sidelines. He's decided to get his boxing license
It's just a troll job.
in California.
Ultimate troll job.
Basically, I somewhat trying to still goad Mayweather into fighting him. Dana White says, whatever. Conor's being Conor. He does this thing. Whatever. He's under contract with me.
Yeah, Conor knows what he's doing. He's great at marketing himself and keeping himself relevant. And it was just something to stir the pot a little bit more.
Other fans have said, well, the commission allowed James Toney to fight Randy Couture. They should be giving an MMA fighter the same.
It's not the same thing.
I don't think so either.
It's not.
Not only that, but James Toney was never under contract with anybody.
Right.
So Conor's under contract. He can't just go to another organization.
And Conor's a current champion. James Toney wasn't a current champion.
No, not at all. Yeah, very, very strange.
And there's a boxing analyst who said that he would be surprised if Conor McGregor could even become the Irish champion at boxing, just because his boxing is very lackluster compared to the sweet science that is boxing.
Oh, they got boxers coming from everywhere that want to be his tune-up fight, that want to knock him out. That telling him that you can't compete.
They want to be his Mickey Gall.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Daniel Cormier is going to be opting for surgery. Remember, Daniel Cormier was unable to fight this December 10th against Anthony Johnson. He is now going under the knife. Says he should be back and hoping to fight in 4 months. In the meantime, Anthony Johnson said he is open to a fight at heavyweight.
Really? I think it's a bad idea for him to go up to heavyweight. I don't know if he'd come back down.
He's been a pretty big dude. I mean, we've definitely seen that.
Yeah,
when we talked to him,
just to put that in
last
perspective,
time we talked to him, he said he walked around pretty heavy.
Yeah, well, just to put it in perspective.
He walks like, 235 is what he told us?
Right, exactly. You got to think about this. This is the guy who used to fight at 170 or try.
He fought a couple times successfully.
Yeah, but now he's like, I buy heavyweight. It's like BJ Penn status right there.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at Randy Couture. Randy Couture is only about 230, and he fought a heavyweight.
Right.
Multiple times, and he was the 205-pound champion, so it's not
unheard of.
No, I just think it's crazy that's like he's fought at 170, 185, 205, and he's going to go to heavyweight. Like he's totally BJ Penning it right now.
Oh, yeah, just I'm going all over the board.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we have? We have this story here, which Dennis brought up to us. Tanya Evinger, we talked about, was trying to appeal her decision, her loss to an armbar at the Invicta event that happened, was that November 18th, something like that?
And you said this was because she was stepping on her opponent's head.
Stepping on her face.
And was made to change position.
Was made to change positions. It was not an actual ground strike. She was just trying to adjust her position. She was told to remove her foot from her face, which is not illegal. She's allowed to put it. She's just not allowed to stomp. And in fact, it was overturned.
Because she was using her feet hands. Like
Missouri Office of Athletics reviewed the video and audio along with the statements of both the referee and the fighters. And they said, we've determined that the official result of this bout must be changed to a no contest. MMA databases have been notified, and we'll update the record in the next couple of days. She gets to keep her belt. So as of now, right now, the 135-pound belt does remain around the waist of Evinger. Obviously, we're going to see a rematch.
We're going to see a rematch.
I would hope.
There's no doubt in my mind that
there hasn't said anything. Invicta hasn't said anything about what's going to be happening. I mean, again, this is somebody else who's commenting. I feel bad for Yana Kutakaya. She lost the belt. She doesn't really even know. No one asked about how she feels about losing her belt. The ref screwed up. She could have still won.
So you said it's a no contest, though, right?
It's been moved to a no contest, but she doesn't get the belt.
Right.
The belt remains with the champ. So she won the belt. Nope, your belt's gone.
Yeah, well, we kind of saw that coming, though, too.
I honestly didn't think it would happen this fast.
No, that's the quick turnaround is what blows me away the most.
Did not think this was going to happen this fast.
Well, if it was as cut and dry as you had explained it to us, because even me, like I was saying, we put it in terms of two heavyweights. You got another heavyweight not stomping on the opponent, but
standing on him,
almost grape crushing this guy's melon.
Yep.
I don't see how it's legal, but since it's not illegal. How do you make them stop? How do you change the position?
Well, I think it's different for everybody, because if you could stand, all three of us could stand on Tito Ortiz's head. And nothing would happen. It'd be all right.
He helps me get up onto the stuff. He's like a step stool.
He's not your stepping stone.
He's no one's stepping stone.
He's nobody's stepping
Nobody
stone.
helps get the glasses off the top shelf.
That's right.
Cole Miller recently spoke with Sherdog about his cancellation of his fight night at UFC Fight Night 97. That was the one that was supposed to go down to the Philippines. That ended up not happening. He said he was really upset because he only ended up with a check for less than 1/3 of his show money. He says, I
thought they were all getting their show money, though.
This is what he's saying. He said it's a bunch of crap. He goes, you know what? I think it's because he had to pay for his own flights. He had to pay for all these other things. So,
yeah. I mean, what if it ends up like the Blues Brothers and they charge them for all the drinks, all the food?
Yeah.
Since you didn't fight, we had to deduct all that stuff that,
out of your check.
You would have had this.
But no, they kept bringing it to me. I didn't know.
He says he is thinking about quitting. He says this is the last fight on his contract. To renegotiate a new contract, there's a lot of work needs to be done. He says, I don't even really think they want me fighting for him. He's like, that's the way I feel like I've been treated. That's not how you take care of your people. He's saying, I asked to go in, request a meeting with the new owners, and I was told no. I was denied.
Well, I mean, then join the association, right? Isn't that why they have the association? Because they all feel like they don't care about the fighters.
But which one though?
It doesn't just grab one.
There's so many.
But which one?
Which one
Would you join?
You know what? I think I would M squared, A to the third.
Cubed. Yeah. All right.
Just so I could do cool gang signs and stuff.
I would do PFA because it's shorter.
PFA?
Yeah. It's just easier to do.
You'd be part of not
MMAAA. AFA.
You brought this up too in a text message. We were talking about like what the hell's going on. Kevin Gastelum's going to be allowed to fight. New York has shown some leniency. They settled with him for a $2,000 fine.
Yeah, they looked the other way for $2,000. You know what?
You didn't make weight. We are the first people ever to fine and suspend people for making weight, making weight. We're gonna let that go.
So
we're not gonna be the first person.
So can Romero?
But $2,000.
So how much does Romero have to pay for jumping out of the ring then?
He's only suspended for 60 days.
$2,500.
This just in: Kevin Gastelum's wiki page has been edited
again.
He's apparently tracked his fighting at welterweight.
Yep.
Middleweight.
Yep.
And super heavyweight.
Yep. I've seen this thing. It's great. There's nicknames on there. Do they have his new nicknames?
No.
Oh, the new one with his new nicknames. It's like Kevin Gastelum, a.k.a. Fat Boy, Cake Eater, El Gordo. Like,
he can't have Cake Boy. That's Gabe Rudiger.
They got to have a picture with him and Ronald.
Yeah.
McDonald.
It was pretty funny. So he's going to be allowed to fight
Kevin
Tim Kennedy.
Big Mac Gastelum.
There you go. That's another one.
That's it.
Let's put it on there.
He's going to be able to fight Tim Kennedy at UFC 206. Tim Kennedy has openly mocked Kevin Gastelum for obviously being a lazy, unprofessional, disrespectful piece of shit.
Hey, if he keeps up the weight gain, he can fight Tim Sylvia.
Yeah.
That is oddly specific. Lazy, unprofessional, disrespectful.
Asshole.
Yeah. It sounds like something off the Breakfast Club.
It does.
Yeah.
Right after he pulled the tape
but I mean,
off
like
Larry
I said,
Lesser's
I think we
bonds.
talked about this when we were kind of texting back and forth. The way I feel about it is that, we were talking how athletic commissions, there's not a universal athletic commission.
Right.
So just because New York says, hey, you're too fat to fight here, or you came in too fat to fight and we're going to fine you, Vegas or
Ontario,
Canada or Mexico or Brazil or whoever, they don't have to agree to it. Mm-hmm. Now, when they did the TRT thing back in the day, everybody was like, California was the first one.
That's right.
New York was like, we're doing it too. Vegas was like, we're doing
Jersey
it too.
jumped
Like,
on it.
Yeah, everybody jumped on it. So, with suspensions like this, to me, I don't know. Weight cut's not a huge deal to me. It is a big deal. It is disrespectful. You should lose a part of your money, which you are losing. But I don't think it's like a drug suspension. Like a drug suspension should be across the board.
Yeah.
But do you feel like a weight suspension is something that everybody? Do you think they need to have one commission?
I think it'd be great if they had one commission. I could be completely wrong, but it'd be nice if there was like unified rules across the board. Because right now, even though there are unified rules,
right,
they're still subjective wherever you
go.
To
athletic commissions, yeah.
And that's the only thing I would think would be good about it. But at the same time, like, I'm surprised that Dana White hasn't stepped in with Gastelum and been like what he did with Rumble.
Well, he told him he can't fight at welterweight again.
Oh, did he?
Flat out.
Okay. Well,
you will never fight. That's why he's fighting Tim Kennedy at the next weight class, at middleweight.
Got it. Okay.
He will not allow him to fight at welterweight again. Like, it's not, no.
Yeah,
never,
and I think
never.
that's fine because he's done that before with like Rumble and other people.
For sure. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, like I said, my point was like that would be, again, like you're talking about Romero, that he's suspended in New York for jumping out of the cage. So say they want to book him down in LA, they're going to be like, he jumped out of a cage in New York. I can't let you fight.
I doubt that. I think New York is just trying to make it as hard on everybody as possible.
I think they're in it for the money.
So that they don't ever want to come back? Yeah, $2,000. That's chump change. If you divide it amongst everybody,
Just
everybody got
keep
like
taking
$1.50.
Hey, you're suspended for 60 days, or give me like $2,000.
Yeah, but I mean, look how frivolous. Let's talk about Nevada.
Romero.
You know how quickly that'll add up?
Yeah,
No, but I mean, like Nevada, $150,000. Oh, you're mad? We'll take $75,000.
Still adds up.
Yeah, and he still hasn't paid it. And I don't know if you're going to cover this story, but they won't issue him a boxing license in Nevada.
that's why he's in California, sir.
Right. But guess what? Guess who don't fight in California?
Mayweather.
Yeah, exactly.
What a clusterfuck.
But hey, guess what? I got a boxing license. You're the one that's scared, bro.
Hey, but you know who does fight in California? Loves to fight here?
Diaz.
No, Canelo Alvarez.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. Canelo would be great.
Because like we said in the text, if you had Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight, they would just stand on opposite ends of the ring and stare at each other all night
A lot of running.
while running.
Yeah, it would look like a centrifuge.
Just constantly going around.
Two magnets with the reverse polarity going. Not attracted to each other at all.
El Pollo against El Pollo.
Legacy Fighting Championship and Resurrection Fighting Alliance merged to become the Legacy Fighting Alliance. We talked about that about a month ago, right?
I think so.
They're getting ready to have their first event as LFA, which they're going to pit the RFA.
Not to be confused with LFL, the
Right.
Lingerie Fighting League.
Completely different. They're going to have their first ever. They're going to take the RFA Bantamweight Champion and the Legacy FC Bantamweight Champion and have a co-championship fight to crown the inaugural LFA Bantamweight Champion.
Okay.
No, not excited.
I don't know what you just said. It was a lot of letters.
I'm pretty sure the MMAAA is going to be there to check things out.
Dude, I don't think they meant it to be like that.
Oh,
I think
PFA is
someone
gonna be
was
in there.
stuttering when they wrote that.
Some news from
Just Michael J. Fox sitting there writing it down.
Oh,
What? He makes a great martini. Shut up.
bad at Etch-a-Sketch though.
I'm guessing. Hey, I'm guessing it's not stirred.
You would be correct.
Bad at Etch-a-Sketch.
What is this supposed to be, Michael? It's the Eiffel Tower. How can I tell?
Keep erasing it every time.
Man, there's some fucked up jokes they make it about you, Michael.
Some news from Japan. First of all, we have Vanderlei Silva has withdrawn from the Rizin New Year's Eve event. Cro Cop
Are you serious?
is upset.
Oh, dude, he's not a real big shit talker, and he's gonna come out and like put it all out there.
Yeah, he went out on social media after coming.
or he had somebody put.
He was
either
yeah.
or.
Mirko Cro Cop was supposed to fight Vanderlei Silva in the quarterfinals at Rizin 3 there on New Year's Eve. Vanderlei Silva is withdrawn. I have not seen any reason why, other than from Cro Cop says, I just received a message from Rizin Fighting Championship that Wanderlei Braveheart Silva, I don't know why he changed his name. I don't know if that's real.
Braveheart?
Doesn't want to fight me. He gets scared and changed his mind. I knew it from the beginning. He played tough guy at the press conference in July. He called me out for the fight. Then I said to myself, this man's got guts. Now we'll see what he's made of. Nothing but shit. Once a fearless and true axe murderer, he's now a scared homie. And only thing he can kill is his mosquito. Vanderlei, don't you dare come to Satahama to see the tournament like a guest because I will slap you like the bitch you just like you deserve. You are nothing but a scared bitch. And I had so much respect for you as a fighter until now. I suggest a new name that will fit you, Wanderlei the Chicken Silva.
Creative.
But going down on that
I wonder
event,
what chicken sounds like in Croatia. Like, did it really sound like a wicked burn when he said it to his...
it was like super.
Yeah.
He's normal.
He's normal.
Although a match that will be happening at this is Gabi Garcia.
Oh, God. This thing.
Okay, my money is that this doesn't happen. Because the president himself is upset that this fight's happening.
Donald Trump?
No, the president of their...
But the matchmakers are like, but this is Japan.
No, but he was
But
like...
this is Japan.
He's like, but
This is
how can
Japan.
people take us seriously?
Nobody takes you seriously, Japan. We haven't taken you seriously for a long time.
Gabi Garcia, 31, 9-time world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, 3-0 in
Tentacle
MMA,
porn.
6'2", 235. Will be fighting Shinobi Kondori, 52 years old, 5'7", 165-pound, former pro wrestler, current politician.
Dude,
Soon-
she's the
soon to be dead.
She's the Japanese Archie Bunker, dude.
Who has
Have you seen
not
her?
fought since 2000.
Jesus.
However, when she did, she was in barbed wire death matches, just saying.
Yeah.
Barbed wire death matches?
Yep, in Japan.
Did you
God,
actually
you gotta
die?
bring up a picture of her. She looks like something off a Pink Floyd album.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
Telling you. If you've seen any Pink Floyd albums, you'd know what I'm talking about.
Like a rainbow through
So
a
she's a
prism?
former pro wrestler turned politician. So she's what's his nuts?
What's his name?
God damn it,
That guy.
the governor. I can't remember now.
Who? Jesse Ventura?
Jesse Ventura, thank you. Jesse the Body Ventura.
So she thinks that she's a conspiracy theorist?
After this fight, she will be.
No pictures?
She's trying to fight. See what I'm talking about?
That's when she was in pro wrestling.
Tell me that's not Japanese Archie Bunker.
Wow. That is Jesse the Body Ventura.
I like this one. So angry.
And Sting had a baby.
Uh-huh.
I'm terrified for her, man.
There it is. Yeah.
I'm terrified for her.
For her?
Yes, for her.
Why?
Gabby's going to kill her.
She's 50-something, right?
52.
What?
She's going to come in all pumped up on HGH.
She weighs how much?
157
Come
pounds.
in pumped up on
160-something pounds.
osteoporosis.
157 pounds. And she's how tall?
5'2", 5'7", 165 pounds.
Garcia plans to make 198.
No. She plans, but right now she's at like 214.
She plans to make 190. She's not even guaranteeing that shit.
She don't have to. This isn't like a real fight.
It's Japan.
Death by snoo, man.
Oh shit!
Hey, are they labeling? Are they labeling?
Whoa!
Are they labeling Gabi as like an Anuki giant?
Yes. She's from Planet Amazon.
They're telling everybody that she's an Anuki giant.
Crazy.
And so really,
They should just have her
in Japan.
They should have her come out of the ocean like frothing, and then they go.
Yeah, and not even making no noise, just going.
Just put little buildings and shit for her to knock over on our way in.
Yeah.
So really, this is like launching the wrestler woman into like martyrdom. She is.
You'll be able to buy pieces of her at a vending machine.
Japan. UFC 208 has been canceled.
You can't follow this with serious news.
UFC 208 has been canceled.
You can't be serious.
Will now have to be rescheduled to, what is that, January 21st? Yeah, this event was, unfortunately, no title fights left after UFC 208 on January 21st, so they're going to move the event. Now, the one that's going down in Brooklyn, which is UFC 209, is now, in February, is going to be UFC 208.
Right.
They will not be coming back to Anaheim until August 5th.
And how long till Coker comes out and goes, it was because they didn't want to go head-to-head with us, bro.
Against Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz.
They didn't want to do it, bro.
Didn't want to do it because we were happening in Inglewood, and they were going to be in L.A.
And ours was going to be free,
On
and
Spike.
you would have had to pay to see that one.
That's about it for the news.
Except for one last thing. Apparently, the U.S. Congress Subcommittee of Energy and Commerce is going to hold a hearing on December 8th to discuss mixed martial arts issues and perspectives.
And having Gabi Garcia run a huge hamster wheel to power two cities.
Is the MMAAA going to be there?
I kind of wonder if they're going to
Or is
invite
the
anybody
subcommittee
for this.
also going to be the PFA, or is it the MMA PFA?
It could be and
the MMA PFA,
MMA.
MMA FA.
And then
FA!
UFC Fight Night 101 went down last Saturday.
Still don't know what that means with this subcommittee.
What about fighters that lose a lot? Then it'd be fa la la la.
We already established fighters looking for fights.
Yeah, do we still got that domain?
I think so.
What about Chunky Church Bitches? Did we ever get that one?
ChunkyJerkBitches.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
CCB.
That fake app that came out that was like looking for a fight type thing? Rumbler? Should make that happen.
Rumbler.
Fighters looking for a fight, Rumbler.
I'm glad, I'm really glad that the big biker contest never took off the BBC.
Go to that website and you'll find something completely
Check it
different.
out.
Thebigbikercontest.com.
Nah, just use the abbreviation.
Just use the abbreviation. The acronym. It's better.
It's easier.
Jumping into here, what was this? Fight Night 101?
101 out of Australia.
We want to do the
Main card.
Yeah, we can do the main card.
I mean, we could talk about how we can jump all the way up to Kyle Noak lost the decision to Omar Akhmedov and then retired. I already thought he was retired.
He's only retired till they come back to Australia or New Zealand.
No, I think he said he's done.
No, they don't fight again.
No, he said he's done.
So the Hippo Perosh retired like 3 times. So did Cote.
Yeah, that's
but
what
if
I
they go to
thought.
Canada, that motherfucker's on the card. So we got Danielle Taylor up against Siho Ham. Couldn't put anything together against Danielle Taylor.
I thought she was doing all right.
Yeah.
It was a split decision.
But I thought Hamberley could have won this fight.
Yeah, everybody on Twitter said Taylor won strictly because of her ass.
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
Hamberley's was hanging out there.
I thought she was just putting together better combinations.
No, Taylor did have a nice booty.
I just thought Taylor was putting together better combinations, honestly.
Right.
So just to be fair on the next one, I have to tell you, Roundtree's ass looked pretty good,
Yeah,
too.
Roundtree's ass was phenomenal.
There you go.
Yes. Tyson
The
Pedro.
little minute amount of time we got to see him. I mean, he lost first round, 4 minutes 7 seconds,
And he was winning!
And he was winning.
He was knocking the shit out. And that guy was like, we are not doing this anymore.
Nope. He sunk in a rear naked choke and put him out. Tyson
So-
Pedro gets the win. And then Alex Volkanovski up against Yasuki Kasuya.
One of the ones I did win.
This was a TKO in the second round
Yeah.
via punches with Alex Volkanovski getting the win. Omari Akhmedov up against Kyle Noak again. Like we just said, Kyle Noak retired after his decision loss.
The only other one I won.
And Andrew Holbrook up against Jake Matthews went to split decision with Holbrook walking away with that win.
What the hell, Matthews?
Never know.
Oh, man.
Robert
He had
Whitaker.
the reach, he had
Did you win?
everything.
No, I thought I took Whitaker in this one.
No, I didn't. I
took
took
Brunson?
Brunson.
Whitaker.
You took
was-
Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yes. Whitaker, this is the one that I got right. Whitaker versus Brunson. This was a TKO with head kick and punches in the very first round, 4 minutes and
This
7
was
seconds.
like a street fight. There was no technique at all.
Brunson, you know what
Brunson
was
just
funny
kept coming
was...
forward. You keep hitting me, but I'm going to keep
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. He's like, you can hit me with everything you got in your fist, but please don't bring that foot up.
Please don't kick.
Which was the crazy bloody fight? Was that the Damian Brown versus John Tuck one?
Yeah, that was earlier
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That one scarred my girlfriend for MMA for a little while.
Really?
Yeah,
What? Because the gushing, huh?
Yeah, she wanted to take a break.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that-
got some fights to show her.
Oh, for sure.
Well, there are worse, but I mean, for this match,
I have the DVD
This is where
that
they
will
were.
no longer reproduce that has Renato Babalu Soberall beating the living shit out of David Heath. He beats him in the first round. Could have submitted him. Nope. Keeps beating him until he chokes him unconscious, and that's why he's no longer allowed in the
Oh,
UFC
when he held
because
the
it just
choke
starts
too long, right?
squirting
Yeah.
everywhere. And it just looks like a car wreck happened.
Yeah.
Like he's like getting the choke in, the guy starts to move, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah, that's what they said about that match earlier. Is like the fighters don't like the color of the mat; they want to turn it red.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much. And then you got Marvin Eastman's head giant when that
Oh
happened,
yeah, the
too.
head giant. Or even seeing against Ricardo Arona destroy Sakuraba.
Oh, God.
Was unrecognizable.
Was that the one where his ear came off?
No, that was another fight.
That was another fight.
That's when he literally had to stop and say, I'm sorry, my ear fell off.
Yeah.
To the audience.
You don't know where I've been, Lou. Those fights remind me of, man. So there you go. That was your UFC Ultimate Fight Night 101. The Ultimate Fighter took place this week and went exactly how we expected.
Yeah.
With Tim Elliott getting the win over Hiro Masa. It was a closer fight than I thought, though. It ended up going to a third round. Oh, wait. It was supposed to be third round because it was the last fight of the season, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was confused. Okay. So, yeah. So, Hiro Masa. Jesus, dude. Jesus. Sakuraba.
Yeah. Beast.
Literally one of the guys I feel worse for in the history of mixed martial arts because that guy was just used.
Yep.
All right, so anyway, Tim Elliott is your big winner going up against Demetrius Johnson this
Who's the
weekend.
big winner? Who's the big winner?
We are.
Tim Elliott. Nobody
Tim
swingers? Nobody? All right.
No, I don't. Oh, God. So this is happening this weekend. It is the Ultimate Fighter 24 finale.
Live and free
Live and free.
on Fox Sports 1.
Which is cool. I was wondering how much Demetrius Johnson's getting paid for this since he is the champ and it's not a pay-per-view. Makes me question
He's
that,
used to fighting on these cards for his belt.
unfortunately.
Yeah, what sucks is he don't get no pay per view money though.
He's used to fighting on these cards for his belt.
It's like being the 125-pound champ is like being the best basketball player on an 8-foot rim.
Dominate.
Well, I'll take that trophy off the mantle. Damn.
All right, jumping on here. I guess we can do the prelim card on Fox Sports 1.
Sure.
I mean, we can do the whole thing if you want. Josh Stansbury up against Devin Clark, and Elvis Multipass going up against Anthony Smith. Your fight pass. Multipass.
Hey, you just called, said thank you very much.
Kalen Curran up against Jamie Mollet. Or
What?
Anybody? Moyle?
Moyle.
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 Moyle rules. Dong Hung Kim going up against Brendan O'Reilly. Rob Fonts going up against Matt Schnell.
Matt Schnell from the season. Like, he's one of the
the only ones from the season to make it onto this card. And Gray Maynard go up against Ryan Hall. Before we jump into the main card, we did talk to Tim Elliott this week. It's a really fun interview. He's a fun guy. He gives a little bit away about who also got contracts from the show.
Yeah, at least from what he knows.
From what he knows. I'm sad that Damasio Page apparently did not get a contract.
Yeah, but it sounds like he's going to get work.
He might.
I hope he will. I really hope he does, man. Because he helped coach Tim Elliott in the last 2 fights. Go listen to the interview. Tim Elliott's a great dude. He's probably one of the more fun interviews that we've had. Very energetic. Maybe we were the first ones he talked to. Maybe that's why. That's got to be it. Then we were like the last ones of the day.
Where they're like, I don't care.
I don't care anymore.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Brandon Moreno going against Ryan Benoit.
Gonna do what I do.
Yes, I'm going to punch him in the face a lot. Yes, I have a
He
game
did say
plan.
he's going to drag this out. Well, we'll get to that.
Sarah McMahon is going up against the fresh off her having a baby, Alexis Davis.
I like this fight.
It's going to be a cool one.
Yep.
I hella called that shit, though, in Alexis Davis' last fight. I said, I think she's pregnant, and then nobody said anything, and then fucking
Because we're like,
all of a sudden she had a baby.
she could just be fat.
But she was pregnant.
Had that aura.
She was glowing.
She was glowing.
And then, is that Ion Kutabala going up against
Ion.
Jared Cannonier? Mm-hmm. Jake Ellenberger taking on George Masvidal.
I like this fight.
Yep.
That could be a bloody one right there.
Yep.
And then your coach is Joseph Benavidez going up against Henry Cejudo.
I think Cejudo's going to wrestle fuck the shit out of Joseph Benavidez.
You think so?
Yep.
Benavidez is pretty tenacious, man.
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
Explosive and athletic. But you're probably right. The gold medalist, or what is it, gold medalist?
Freestyle wrestling.
Freestyle wrestling is going to give Joseph Benavidez fits. He's got great takedown defense. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
If Henry Cejudo can get him down in the first minute, then he's going to have a lot of problems. But if he can stuff a few takedowns, he's going to have a chance. And then Demetrius Johnson is just going to go beat up Tim Elliott.
Tim Elliott says he's going to try to drag this into a bar brawl. Like, flat out, make it an ugly, dirty fight. He's like, all these other guys try to have some sort of technique or match technique for technique with Demetrius Johnson. I just want to beat him up. Just drag it out and turn it in. He's like, I like 5-round fights. He's like, even the ones I've lost have been good fights. He's like, and I like fighting Demetrius Johnson because he's going to be an interesting fight. It's not going to be somebody boring. I don't know. I still think DJ's hands down the best mixed martial artist on the planet right now. I'm taking DJ, but I'll be rooting for Tim Elliott.
I think his best chance is going to be to come out blitzkrieg like he's done in a couple of his fights on the show.
Yeah.
And just overwhelm Demetrius
He's
Johnson.
got to do it fast, though, man.
Yeah.
You've got to get... If you put... Demetrius Johnson gets into a rhythm, you are fucked.
But ultimately... ultimately it's just you're coming out of the minor leagues to go up against the champ. It spells bad news all the way. This isn't Space Jam.
We also have Bellator going on tonight. On Spike. Yeah?
Yes.
Anybody?
We'll go with that.
Anybody know? Spike TV? Spike TV.
Spike Force 1.
Spike Force 1 going down. We have Chris Honeycutt going against Ben Ryder. Marcos Galvalo against LC Davis. AJ McKee against Ray Wood. And Eduardo Dantes defending his belt against Joe Warren.
All right. That's free tonight, probably on Spike. So if you're listening to the podcast and not watching it live right now, turn it on.
That's it.
That's
the
it.
Week.
That is the week. No more. I don't have anything else.
I got nothing. You got
And
anything?
if you're hearing us, you're lucky because our live feed took a shit.
Yeah.
Well, so thanks for listening.
Yeah.
We appreciate
if
that.
you listened.
Also, of course, check out our sponsors, MyMMAnews.com and StrongBoardBalance.com. Change the way you work out. Get on board at StrongBoardBalance.com. I have one now that I can't stand on for shit. Can barely make it 5 minutes on that thing before I fall off of it.
Okay, now let me ask you, isn't it crazy that you're just doing like normal shit and it's like working the fuck out of you?
Mm-hmm. The first time I did, I actually broke a sweat because I was I was wearing like a hoodie and jeans, and I was like, I'll stand on this for a round of the fight, 5-minute round, no problem. By the end of it, I was like, why do I feel overheated right now? So yeah, definitely worth checking them out, especially on their Instagram. You can find us at SD_MMA on Twitter and Instagram, Split Decision MMA Podcast on Facebook, and anywhere podcasts are broadcast, including our website, SplitDecisionMMA.com. That's about it. From the Ruloff Family Inc. Studios, it's Bueller and Dodge, and have a good night. We'll see you at the fights.